Bonjour, c'est Virginie and you are watching French Truly TV, your destination to truly become a little bit French. I haven't made a video in a while yet. Did you know that I'm still with you every week on my website, FrenchTruly.com, where all you need to do is click on the Get Started tab so you're no longer missing out on my weekly blogs. I use many different techniques and approaches to teach you French. I don't always need to use YouTube. So if you haven't already done so, click on the Get Started link I'm adding in the description and come join us every week for free. You'll get tons of help in various formats. French videos with French subtitles to teach you about French culture, stories to test your comprehension, interviews, music, articles, events, or courses that I host. Honestly, come join us, you'll love it. Anyway, I'm here now to tell you that 1, I am moving to Paris. It's official. I have an address. And 2, I'm going to use this as an excuse to teach you some French vocabulary and a few grammar rules. As you can see from the change of décor, I have moved out of my little French village Pélussin, yet I have decided to keep my immersion courses there because they're so unique and loved. An immersion course in a tiny village where I can introduce you to so many interesting locals is truly special, and you could never experience this by yourself. And in a couple of weeks, I will settle in the wonderful apartment my friend and I finally found in the heart of Paris. It is so pretty. We are very happy. I will be working on creating amazing immersion courses in Paris as soon as I move there, and I can't wait to share it all with you. Okay, now let's work. We're about to cover 4 points. 1, verbs. 2, weird adverb. Wonder which one. 3, conjugation. How do I choose between imparfait and passé composé? And 4, vocab, slang, synonyms, all of the above with reference to moving to Paris. 1, we'll begin with 2 verbs that most people get wrong or don't even realize that they are 2 verbs that are not interchangeable. Déménager means to move out. Emménager means to move in. Déménager, emménager. Same idea, opposite perspectives. They're both first group verbs, so they're regular, as easy as French conjugation gets. What does that mean? The root of the verb never changes. You just need to learn every single ending by heart. For instance, je déménage de Pélussin et nous emménageons dans notre nouvel appartement à Paris. I'm moving out of Pélussin and we are moving in our new apartment in Paris. In French, it is the prefix that changes the meaning of the verb. Déménager, out, versus emménager, in. The common root you can see in these 2 verbs is the word ménage. Ménage comes from the word maison, which means a house, a home. In English, ménage means the members of a household. You may have also heard the expression faire le ménage, which means to do the housework. Faire le ménage. Je fais le ménage tous les jours. I do the housework every day. Je fais le ménage tous les jours. Or, if you're slightly less anal, you could say je fais le ménage une fois par semaine. I do the housework once a week. Je fais le ménage une fois par semaine. There is also the word une ménagerie, which originally represents a collection of wild animals put together, and then more figuratively, a funny group of people and or animals. For instance, when my friend Laurent takes care of my dogs, and given the fact that he also has 1 dog and 1 cat, I send him a text message, un texto, and I ask him, Salut Laurent, comment va la joyeuse ménagerie aujourd'hui? Salut Laurent, comment va la joyeuse, happy, ménagerie aujourd'hui? Another word built from ménage is ménagère, and that is a woman who takes care of her house. Une ménagère. And finally, if nothing I've just explained helps you remember our two verbs, déménager et emménager, how about the expression ménage à trois? I'm sure you know this one. Same word, ménage. Remember, represents the number of people in a household. You're moving your household out or you're moving your household in. And I leave it up to you to decide how many people that is. 2. Okay, now let's have a look at another typical mistake that people make with the adverb depuis, which means since. I'm going to give you the same sentence in French and in English, and you'll notice the tense changes. Je cherche un appart. Yes, in French we like to cut words in half, so appartement becomes appart. Je cherche un appart à Paris depuis le mois de mai. Notice that je cherche is the present tense. In English, however, we'd say, I've been looking for an apartment in Paris since the month of May. In English, we use a past tense. Do you see how two languages express the same thing, but from a completely different perspective? In French, we focus on the fact that it's still true today. I'm still looking for an apartment today, even though I started in May. While in English, I focus solely on the fact that I began searching in May, in the past. These little details show the important differences in mentalities between various languages, which I find fascinating. Take expressions that use le verbe avoir, to have in French, for instance, when in English we'd use le verbe être, to be. For example, in English you are your age. I am 20, I am 30, I am 40, etc. In French, you have your age. You just have it, yet it doesn't define you. It's not who you are, which feels a little more freeing, I guess. Saying that, I've just come up with a new rule. Every time someone asks me how old I am, I systematically answer 10 years younger. When people believe me, it makes me happy. And that is called la vanité. More seriously, in French, we say j'ai 20 ans, j'ai 30 ans, j'ai 40 ans. I have 20 years. Don't forget to add en years. Otherwise, it means nothing. You have 20 what? Glasses, socks, dogs, years. You have 20 years. You have 30 years. You have 40 years. 3. These days, one specific question keeps coming back from my private students, so I thought I would add it here too. The difference between the main two past tenses in French, l'imparfait et le passé composé. When do I use the imparfait? When do I use the passé composé? I actually have a video dedicated to this topic called Imparfait or Passé composé, how to choose. A general easy rule is imparfait takes time. It's the background action. It's descriptive. In English, look for the ing form. I was eating, I was reading, I was running, or used to. I used to make that mistake. I used to go to bed early. It implies you did it many times. It implies repetition. It implies it took time. That is the imparfait. Je cherchais un appart à Paris. I was looking for an apartment in Paris. I used to look. I looked and I looked and I looked and it took time. Je cherchais imparfait. When I was a child in France, our classrooms were covered in chronology posters. Roman Empire, la Renaissance, la Révolution française, etc. Years. decades, centuries. It takes time. Imparfait. Until, boom, passé composé. Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC, passé composé. Copernicus discovered heliocentrism in 1514. Boom, passé composé. Louis XVI was beheaded in 1793. Boom, passé composé. To go back to my moving to Paris example, je cherchais un appartement à Paris, imparfait, it took a long time, que j'ai trouvé vendredi dernier, that I found, boom, last Friday, passé composé. You see? 4. Finally, here are some fun little words and expressions to say. C'est pas facile de trouver l'appartement parfait à Paris. It's not easy finding the perfect apartment in Paris. C'est pas facile de trouver l'appartement parfait à Paris. Notice, by the way, how I said c'est pas facile instead of ce n'est pas facile. You can do this. You can drop the ne from the ne pas. Personally, I prefer the ne, but I'm also a bit of a snob and most people tend to drop it. And you want to know how French people tend to speak. C'est pas facile. How else could you express this same idea? C'est pas commode. C'est pas aisé. C'est pas simple. C'est complexe. C'est dur. C'est difficile. C'est compliqué. And in a bit of a slangy way, c'est chaud. Yes, that means it's not easy. C'est chaud. C'est hard. C'est hard. C'est balèze. And that's it for now. That is plenty of information. I showed you the difference between déménager et emménager. We looked at depuis and how it's used in the present tense in French. I explained the main difference between imparfait and passé composé, and I gave you 10 ways to say it's not easy, c'est pas facile. And remember not to just wait for my videos on this YouTube channel, French Truly TV, but to come and join me on my website, FrenchTruly.com, where you can click on the Get Started tab to receive your free 3-step mini course to help you become a little bit French. This also means you'll receive lots of free help from me every week. Finally, my new 2020 French immersion courses are open for registration now, and the courses will take place in March, April, and July 2020 in the US and in France. I'm adding a link below to show you what a last immersion course looked like. Go have a look. It's all written in French, so you can practice at the same time. If you enjoy this video, please like and share it with your Francophile friends, and obviously subscribe to French Truly TV. Merci beaucoup, au revoir et gros bisous. Mouah!